Okay, once you have R and RStudio loaded, this is what RStudio looks like. You'll have four windows over here. Will be arranged slightly differently than what you have as the default, but we'll fix that right away. So one thing I will tell you is at the bottom here, this is the code that I'm writing, and I'm writing it where I can in the source window, and I can save this code and rerun it and so on pretty easily. But when you put a pound sign in front, that means don't run this code. These are just comment lines. And what I want to do here was just remind myself of the things that I want to do in this video. One is I want to arrange the window panes so they'll be like mine. And the only thing you need to do is go to Tools, Global Options, and Pane Layout. And the default is going to say Source up here. If you change one of them, it changes the other one. But I want to have the console up here. So just do that and click OK. And that will change your windows to the same arrangement that I have. Okay, so let's say you want to change the appearance of the code. Go to the same place, Tools, Global Options, and now just click on Appearance. And you can then just go over here under the theme and pick whatever thing you like. And I'm just going to cancel this. I like Eclipse, and so that's the one I'm using. You can use whichever one you want. Set file location. So wherever you save your files, this can be to your desktop, to a folder you create, or whatever. To change that and to tell it where to go to look, and you need to do this every session if you're going to read data from some folder or wherever you have it. You may be able to set a default there, but I just do it every time. Set working directory, choose directory, and I want mine on the desktop. If I wanted it in this Maclave thing, I could just find that and go to it, but I do want it on the desktop. And when you get to, just scroll to your desktop and then select folder. And then now when we read data, then, which is the next thing we're going to do, we're going to read a CSV file. It'll know where to go look for it. There are many ways to do this. This is the one that works best for me. Again, session, set working directory, choose directory, and then just find the folder that you want to use. Okay, so now we want to read a CSV file. So to do that, you just type read.csv. A CSV file is just an Excel file that you've saved as CSV. For me, it seems to work a little bit better than other things. I'm going to go back here and say, I'm going to retype this. I'm going to say my data equals, so what I'm going to do is create a data set in R that's that I get from this read CSV file. And I'm going to open parenthesis, and then in quotation marks, I'm going to put the name of the file. And I have one on here called survey.data.clinic. And then you have to tell it the extension, which is CSV. When I click run for this line that I have highlighted, it's going to go find that survey data clinic, which I think has got mainly things about waiting time in a medical clinic. It's going to go to the file location I specified, my desktop, and find that CSV file, read it in, and it's going to create the data set in R. And in the global environment here, it will say the name of the, it'll say my data, which means that I got the data set in there. We have 79 observations of 13 variables. You could click on this right here, and that'll just show you the whole data in R. If you want to have a look at that and see what the variable names are and what the data look like, what the values are for the variables and so on. And then just click back here to, I guess it's Untitled 6 is where I have this one. Then if you want to, you don't want to go through and look all there, or you just want to get the names in the data set. Let's say you've had several lines of code and you forget the names of the variables. I'll just put names my data, the names of the data set that I called my data, and they'll come up here. So let's say you want to compute the mean of a variable, and I've just typed here mean age. Make sure that it's all caps like it is here. Whatever you have here, it is case sensitive. And this shouldn't work. And I'll tell you why here. I have an error. It couldn't find the variable age. It's because I didn't specify which data set to get it from, because you could have more than one data set. There's two ways to do this. One way is you could just do my data $age, which says I want to go get the variable age from the data set that I call my data, and that'll work. Or I'm going to go back to just mean age, and before that I could say attach my data. Again, if I just did mean age, I get the error message, but if I attach the data set and then run mean age, I'll get the mean. The advantage of doing the attach is now I can do things like get the standard deviation of age, get a box plot of age, without having to type the name of the data set every time. If you do this, you probably should get in the habit of at some point in your data set, or at some point in your where you work in the problem, go ahead and detach the data set so it doesn't affect other things that you might do. I'm not going to run that line now, but that's how to do that. So that's getting the names, attach. Okay, summary. I've already shown you how to get some specific things there. If you do summary, my data, the whole data set, you could just do it for one variable, but you can do it for the whole data set. And you'll get a summary of everything. It'll get every variable and the minimum value, the first quartile, the median, the mean, the third quartile, and the maximum for quantitative variables. For categorical variables, like gender, it'll just tell you how many are in each category. The other thing that's kind of handy that I have here is the head, my data, will just give you the first few lines of the data set. And that's just what the data set looks like. And since it couldn't fit all in one row, it just wrapped around here. If you want to get the bottom of the data set, instead of head, you would put tail, my data. And that'll give you the last few lines of the data set. Okay, that'll be all for this video.